right, fabulous. So, we are live. Welcome everyone to an inspiration behind the stories with the amazing Niki Dominique. And I am just so thrilled to be here with Niki. You guys have no freaking idea. We've gotten so much incredible feedback on her wonderful writing. So with that, I'm just going to throw it out there. What was the moment you said, I have got to write this book?
Oh my God, that's a hard question. I think it's more about a feeling of maybe like an image that I had of a woman who like lost everything.
Wow.
And I was trying to capture that feeling and then start there. Like, where do you go from there? What do you do? How do you begin to piece everything back together and figure out what's really important?
Okay. So what really first sparked the story?
I think it was the just trying to capture that feeling of that woman. I guess I picture like my characters as people. They have their own personalities. They just do what they do. So I think I formatted Adrian first, and I really like could picture her, and that was kind of the spark of the story. Like I wanted to tell her story
Okay.
and really get down to who she was and what she could do or how she could grow
Mm-hmm.
and and so we can see that journey for her.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Cool. So why this story now? Both on a personal level and like a broader level, if that made sense.
Um Personally, I think especially at the time when I started writing the story,
Mhm.
I feel like maybe like there's like peaks and plateaus to life. You know,
Mhm.
you accomplish things and then you kind of like are steady, stable there. And
Mhm.
then I don't know about you, but I kind of get restless after a while in like the plateau phase, and then I want to
Mhm.
make a change. My
Mhm.
family always makes fun of me because I'm like I have like these big ideas and I want to change everything. So I was kind of in one of those moments of my life where I was like making a big change and trying to piece together like, okay, what do I want to do now? Who am I? What do I want the next phase of my life to be like? And trying to build that. So I
Mhm.
think personally that's kind of where I came from. Are you kind of
Mhm.
like that too?
Oh my God, I am so like I just get bored really easily. Like once I've mastered something, then it's like, okay, well that was fun. Next. So yeah. Like I'm the person who like I'll do things like skydiving or like Cirque du Soleil classes,
Ooh.
and I may never master it, but like I just, it's just trying it to see like what's it like. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, no, I totally feel you. Like, because it's like, oh well, all right, well, I wonder what this is. Let me try this.
Let's try something out. Let's figure out the next thing. It's just like, oh, I got this now. Let's add on something new and
Right?
see if this is gonna be a one-time thing or like a new thing to add into
Exactly.
the life.
And I don't know about you, like, do you have like tons of like friends and like acquaintances and stuff from all your
Different
various, yeah. Hmm.
different phases. I don't know if I have tons of friends, but they're all very different. They're all very different because they're like from different parts or phases or like when I was doing this thing, kind of.
Hmm.
But I'm more of like a few really, really close friends. So they're all very different though.
Yes, totally feel you. Absolutely. Um, Now, what questions were you absolutely obsessed with while you were writing it?
So I'm not the kind of writer that is like planning out things. Like I don't do outlines. And
Mm-hmm.
so I I never know what's gonna happen. I think I have an idea, like, okay, this part is probably gonna, go here, but
Mm-hmm.
I never know. I'm always like, okay, let's see where this goes. So I think that's the question. I'm always like, okay, what's gonna happen now? What is she gonna do? Oh, what piece is gonna fit in here?
Mm-hmm.
And so I think the question's always like, what's gonna happen? How is this fit in with what we already know? What else do I need to add? And why? So I like that though. I like that I get to surprise myself. I'm always like writing a chapter that I get really excited. I'm like, oh my god, you're gonna see what happened.
That is so awesome. That is so, so awesome. So just to back up, like, who's the story about? Like, what's the core story?
Okay. So Adrian, we start out with it's like the worst day of her life, basically. So she's
Oh boy.
lost everything. She had her own company and she, destroyed it. It's no longer exists.
Mm-hmm.
Her children don't want anything to do with her. Her husband's sending some, trying to divorce her. She lost her house. She lost all her money. And she spent like her last dollar and is like wandering and not knowing what to do now. And that's where we pick up. So where my actual like working title while I was writing was just rock bottom because I was like, we started here at rock bottom, and you're gonna follow her and see like how she's able to rebuild herself, how she's able to rebuild these relationships,
Mm-hmm.
how she's able to pick herself back up. And not everything works out magically, but some things do work out, and she figures out some things, and
Mm-hmm.
you'll see what else happens. I don't want to spoil anything.
Okay. Okay. So, I mean, you put a lot of stakes out there. So, what's at stake if things go truly wrong?
uh the stakes are pretty high. So then I guess, the worst thing would be just to live there. I
Mhm,
stay here. I live here. I don't grow. I never
mhm,
figure out like what she did wrong, or become, figure out how to piece together those relationships. She stays penniless and homeless.
uh,
Unfor-
wow. uh, and what kind of an emotional ride do you feel like readers should expect?
I think there's a lot of emotions. I think you're gonna go through a lot of emotions. I mean, the stakes are pretty high,
Mhm,
so there's gonna be moments that are fun. There are gonna be moments that you're gonna be a little angry. There's
mhm,
gonna be moments that are sad.
mhm,
So I think go in with an open mind and be
mhm.
prepared for all those emotions would be the
Okay.
best way to go in.
Okay. All right. That's fair. Um, what part of this was, or parts of this were the hardest for you to write?
Oh God. Ah, there's so many.
Mm,
I want to say the end was hard to
okay.
write, but like I said, I don't want to spoil anything.
Mm,
So I'm gonna go with Adrian has a conversation
mm,
with her husband,
mm,
Julian, and I think that was a very difficult conversation to write, um, to make it feel real
Mhm.
and to also deal with the emotions of, like, disappointing someone so much, and he also takes a lot on himself,
Mhm.
um, and she let him down, really, really she let him down in many
Wow.
ways. So, I think that was a heavy, heavy thing to write.
Mhm. Do you feel like, that you base these characters on individuals that you knew or like a conglomeration of people?
Um, I always think there's bits and pieces of people,
Mhm.
that kind of wind up in, like, maybe an aspect of their personality, right? Like, oh, the core essence of who you are, like, that piece of it can wind
Mhm.
up in some characters, but I do think my characters are, like, living like, they live in my head as their own people.
Okay.
So a little bit, but not like, anything like, "You this person was inspired by this."
Mm.
I've heard people making guesses, but I really I don't agree, but,
Um, well, where were you as well in your life during in this when you as you were writing this story?
I was making some big changes in my life. I'd, like, moved
Mm.
I moved and I got this beautiful apartment. I was so excited. I was, like, on the 18th floor, and I had
Nice.
these yeah, I loved it. Um, I had like, these huge windows in every room, and since I was on the 18th floor, I was like, "I don't care. I'm keeping all the blinds open." And I would watch the sunset, like, every
Mhm.
night, like, laying in my bed, watching the sunset. I would sit with my laptop and watch the sunrise in the morning with a cup of coffee. I was,
Mhm.
like, taking a slow time to, like, make that transition. It was like a big empty apartment. It took a long time to buy furniture. Like, I was in that phase of life, like, transitioning and figuring out my next move, but, like,
Mhm.
doing it in a way that was, like, really exciting and really, like, beautiful. So,
Mhm. Mhm. Wow. So, now I have to ask because you keep speaking as if the apartment's in the past. So, have you since moved on from said apartment?
I know. I loved that apartment. I just didn't love the city. So I did. I was in Baltimore at the time. I live in
Okay.
New York City now.
Mhm.
So less windows, unfortunately, but I love the city.
Mhm.
I love New York City. I am super excited about this move. I love that apartment.
Understood, understood. I actually used to live in Center City, Philadelphia in Rittenhouse, but I commuted through Amtrak to New York City for my job.
Oh
It
wow.
it was the best commute I've ever had because they had Wi-Fi already on Amtrak. So I could work the hour and a half on the train up, go and take all my calls, then go back, work the hour and a half. Actually, the hour and a half back, I usually read. I like always brought some novel of some sort, with me. And but yeah, oh yeah, I totally feel you on I love New York City. So yeah. Uh do you feel like any part of this changed you? And if so, how?
Um, it was like writing the book and also like going through the process of like this is my first book that was published, and that was really exciting and a lot of work. It was a lot of work.
Oh yeah.
You like spend like years writing this book and you're like, I'm done. And then I met with you,
Yeah.
and then it was a whole nother process of like editing and then re-editing, and like it was good though because I got even more deeply in touch with my own process
Mm.
and with the story itself. So I,
Mhm.
able to appreciate what was happening and fix things. But
Mhm.
it was super awesome process, and was very enlightening and frustrating. Um, but ultimately like amazing. So absolutely.
Yeah, totally understood. uh, what surprised you the most while you were writing this?
What surprised me the most while I was writing? Hmm. I think I was surprised by the the moments that made me get stuck. I don't
Mm.
like when I because I like the surprise aspects, I'm like, "Oh no, I actually don't know what's gonna happen and I can't figure it out."
Mhm, mhm, mhm,
You spend days just like pacing, like, okay, what's gonna happen? I gotta figure this out. I was surprised by like which of those moments got
mm,
me stuck. Because it was sometimes it was something really small, like you maybe like wouldn't even think of that being like some big pivotal moment of the book, but
mhm,
I would be stuck there for days. Um, so it's always surprising like which aspect gets you stuck, like where you are like, I can't figure this out. I don't know what's gonna happen. I've boxed myself in a corner or something. I don't know. But and then I was just surprised by like how much of the story wound up being like about her family.
mhm,
I don't think when I started I thought it was gonna be like this about, also like her relationship with her parents and like how that set her on this trajectory
mhm,
of putting herself in these boxes and like framing her thinking in such a narrow way. I
mhm.
don't I was surprised by like how much of that was like really built on her relationship with her mother and her father, her sister.
Mm. Cool. Um, and what characters challenged you the most and how?
Ah, characters that challenged me the most.
Mhm.
Um, I feel like I would say Adrian, but I feel like that's a cop out to say the main character. So I'm gonna say Bethany Brown.
Okay. Okay.
I just think their friendship was like such a pivotal part of her life, and she kind of underestimated that.
Mhm,
And I think that was just challenging to capture the complexities of like that kind of long friendship
mhm,
and the the echoes that it has.
mhm. What almost didn't actually make it into the book? And why did you actually decide that it had to stay?
Oh God. What was on the chopping block?
Mhm,
Um I think a lot some of the more silly moments were on the chopping block, like
mhm,
conversations that she has with Jill and Gabe. Because sometimes uh, I think we can underestimate how important the balance of that is. Like, oh, you don't need that. This is like a filler conversation. Um, but in like revisiting, reviewing, um, you, I think they were necessary to have the balance of like, especially with the heavier moments and with
mhm,
understanding what each individual person meant. like what they meant to each other, you can see in the lighter
Mhm.
moments.
Mhm.
So I think I underestimated that, and I was like, oh, you don't need that.
Got it. Got it. Was there anything that, like, you actually took out that in retrospect you wish you had not?
Oh, I don't think so.
Mm-mm.
I don't think so.
Okay. Um, who do you feel will actually fall the hardest for the book, and why?
Oh God. I feel like I'm not the person to answer that question. Let me see.
Who's giving you,
I am biased, Lisa.
well, you're supposed to be biased, but, like, you've already gotten tons of starred reviews.
Mhm.
So, um, of the feedback you've gotten, like, what kind of feedback have you gotten, and have you seen it from, like, a specific, uh,
Kind of
populace?
reader.
Yeah, type of
I
reader.
think I think women probably resonate with the story more,
Mhm.
obviously.
Mhm.
Um, I think women love to read novels more than men in general, but
I'm not going there.
guys I know, except for my dad. My dad does. He reads everything I recommend. He
See?
but um yeah, so definitely women. I
Okay.
think I don't think there's an specific age or anything. I don't.
Mhm.
I've heard there's. I've talked to teenagers. I've talked to grandmas. I've talked to, moms, and I don't. I don't think there's a specific. I think like looking for a story about maybe life and figuring out life,
Mm,
and just it being a female centered story would probably draw itself more to women.
mhm.
But yeah, I think
Now that makes sense. Especially, I think probably women, young, uh, like early 20s, 30s would
yeah,
probably, yeah, something like that. Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't know.
Uh,
Some of my most ardent, like, when is your next book coming out? People are like a little bit older.
yeah, see? See?
Okay, I'm sorry. I gotta write faster.
Yeah, what's your problem? Now, is there anything that you get feedback on where people are like, "Oh my gosh, I totally did not see that coming."
Um, I think the ending is probably
Okay.
the most where it's like, hey, why is this? Um, that's the most feedback that I've gotten is usually the end where it's like someone
Okay.
is frustrated
Mhm.
or wanting a different outcome.
I see.
Uh, so why did this happen this way? I'm like, I don't know.
It just came out that way. Oh my goodness. Um, so if someone starts reading the first 20 pages, what'll make them say, "Oh my gosh, I have to keep going"?
First 20 pages, I have to keep going because I mean, you got to find out what happens next, right? I think
Well,
that
yeah.
especially in the beginning, there's a lot of questions that are brought to your attention,
Mhm,
and not a lot of answers. So that's why I'm like, well, why did this happen? Like, how did she get here? How did she wind up in this situation? How did she destroy everything? A lot of questions you're being thrown at,
mhm.
um, with like no answers. So if you want to know why and how and all who and figure out how Adrian has come to be in a church begging for help,
Mhm.
um, then you're gonna definitely want to keep reading. Um, yeah.
Okay. All right. That's fair. Um, is there anything that you want to leave our viewers with? Any thoughts? Anything you want us to chat about?
Um, I don't know. What should I? Can I ask them a question?
Yeah.
um, or maybe just say like the kind of person or the why you would maybe want to pick it up. I
Mhm.
think if you're looking for something that is interesting, that's kind of fast paced,
Mhm.
um, with a like a little bit of mystery right to it, because it's not like a who done it mystery, but like a why aspect to it.
Why?
Why? Yes. Yeah. And you get a bunch of flashbacks too. So
Okay.
it's gonna show you and not just be like we're info dumping. This is what happened that led me here. You're gonna see it. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And with that, for anyone who's watching, so you know, we actually have Shades of Purple on sale, the ebook for 99 cents through the month of February. So go
Ooh.
get it wherever you can find ebooks. You will find it again, 99 cents through the end of February. And I want to thank Niki. Oh my gosh, as always, a complete and utter pleasure to have an opportunity to chat. And our next behind the scenes is actually going to be on Thursday of this week at 8 a.m. Pacific time, 11 p.m., 8, 9, 10, 11. Yep, that's right. Eastern time.
Oh, Lisa,
Yes,
is
ma'am.
is the sale for the audiobook as well or no?
No, it's just for the ebook. I don't think
Oh,
it's for the
okay.
audiobook. I believe it's only for the ebook, but
Oh, because I think the narrator did such an excellent job. Oh, we didn't get to talk about that. The
do it.
narrator of
Yeah.
the book, her name is
Yeah.
Nikki J. So we have the same name, which just like kismet.
Shocking.
She did a phenomenal job. I
Yeah.
don't I love like I listen to audiobooks like while I'm on the train and like um riding my bike. And I think she just did a phenomenal job. She really encapsulated like the essence of everything. So if your audiobook, don't miss out. That's available on Audible as well. So
Yeah, and I just put a link to the Amazon page that includes the Audible as well. So, oh yeah, I agree. She did fabulously. Absolutely. Um, Now this is actually recorded, so you guys, you can see this anywhere: YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, whenever you so choose. And if you do decide that you have any questions for Niki, just go ahead and pop them in the chat, because what we'll do is we'll collect the questions, and then we'll obviously, Niki will have another chance to sit down and provide more fabulous answers. So,
oh wow, awesome.
yeah. So with that, again, thank you, Niki. As always, fabulous, and have a phenomenal, have a